Hello all, welcome to oratrainings.com. In this session, we'll discuss about the building blocks in Oracle VBCS. Let's get into agenda. We'll try to understand about the basic building blocks like variables, action chain, page flows, and UI components. And also we'll try to understand the sample application creation and some of its components. So these are the high-level building blocks interaction in the VBCS. So like generally, whenever any user opens a VBCS application in the browser, so what does the application contains? An application contains a set of UI components, right? It can be an item or it can be a region. So these UI components generally represent data, right? Let us say if you have a table region, it will have a set of records and set of columns. Each column or each record represents a record in the business object, and each record will have a set of columns. Each column will have a value. That each column value will be retrieved from a specific record group item or a variable, I can say. So nothing but what I'm trying to say is any UI component, what you see in the browser generally gets the value from a variable, and that variable will get the value. It can get a value. It can be a static value, or it can get the data from a specific REST endpoint, or that REST endpoint can be based on the business object. And also here, if you observe, you have a UI components. When you say UI component, it can be a, what do you call it? It can be hyperlink, it can be a button, it can be a read-only text, or it can be enterable text, or it can be checkbox, it can be drop down, right? Or it can be image. So you can raise an event. Nothing but let us whenever you type any text in any text component, you are raising a on key event. Let us say when you have a button, you are pressing it, right? You are raising a button event. So whenever you raise any event, that will be handled by the action. So that action will have a set of action chain or action set of a set of events. Whenever you raise an event, that will be taken care by the action chain functionality. This set of action chains nothing but you raise an event, that event is captured by the action chain, and in the action chain you have to mention what you want to do when an event occurs, whether you want to open a new page, whether you want to delete a record, whether you want to navigate a new page, whether you want to raise an event, whether you want to call any other validation, whether you want to call a PL SQL or a REST API service, right? So those all the things will be done with the actions. Let us see some more information of each individual component now. So let's start with a variable. Whenever you consider any programming language, it can be Java, PL SQL, or it can be Python, Perl, whatever the programming language you consider, always you have a temporary variables or you have a concept called variable, which holds a value, which is necessary for your business functionality to be completed. Nothing but let us say you want to compute a sum of two variables, sum of a value, sum of sum of two numbers. What do? You require three variables, right? One is you require a variable to hold two numbers, and the third one is to hold the result of the two variables, two numbers, I mean to say. So this is a concept of a variable which we use it for the purpose of holding the business value which is necessary for the business. And and the variables generally will have data types. So when you say variable, a variable is nothing but a name of a component for which you want to assign a value. That can be of any type. Generally we have a basic data types like a number, character, date, or a boolean, or you may have a complex data type. When you have a complex data type, nothing but which can hold a record kind of data type. Here if you observe, we mentioned primitive, structured, dynamic, or built-in, somewhat extra functionality which is available in VBCS. Okay, and you also have a scope. Nothing but when you define a variable, whether it should be available within the region, within the page, or within across your application, or within the action chain. So you can mention the scope of your variable, nothing but validity or availability of a variable value, or availability of a variable in which particular scope. Generally you have when you design a PL SQL program, right? You have a block concept, or a Java, you have a block concept, right? When you define a variable inside the block, that will not be available in the outside block, but vice versa is available. If you define a variable in the outside block, that can be available in the inside block, something like that, right? So you can define a scope of a variable, and you can mention where it based on the scope, the value of the variable will be the variable can be accessed. So we have four scopes here: page scope, application scope, flow scope, as well as action chain scope. Okay, now coming to the next thing, event, action, and action chains. It seems all are dependent, or all are seems same, but let us try to understand one by one. So let us consider a button. As a user, when you press a button, what it will happen? It will raise an event. Okay, You are raising a button event. That button event will be handled by the action or action chain. So let us understand here. Whenever you raise an event gets triggered automatically whenever this change happens in the value or a property of an item. Okay, action chains are triggered by events. When you raise an event, they are trapped by the action chain. What is an action chain contains? Action chain contains set of actions, nothing but like you got an event and what you want to do. Like in the action chain, you define what all action you want to do. First of all, like call REST API, then call another REST API and validate the data and call a next page and raise a validation failure. Like these set of action chain will contain a set of actions. Okay, so that's all about event, action, and action chains. Okay, and here if you observe, right, like assume like this is my application. I have a button, and in the button I will assign an action. I will have an action chain, and this action chain here, if you observe, I can assign n number of actions. For this action chain, I can assign n number of actions, like assigning a variable, call action, call component, get the data from a business object, or get the location, a number of things, right? And you can also see the list of actions on this particular button. Here, if you observe, when we go to the browser, we can understand all these particular graphical components. But as of now, high level, you have a button, you have a set of actions, and these actions can be like you'll have a predefined set of actions. You can use any of them based on your requirement. Okay, events, actions, as well as action chains. Now come to the next thing, data access. So VBCS, using VBCS, you cannot call any of your database query directly. Generally, like when you design any application, we always think of the business application data, because just designing a page, designing a static page is of no use for any of the enterprise application. Any enterprise application, you require data to be represented in the page. That generally, like any application, generally like any enterprise application stores the data in the database. It can be of different kind. It can be of different kind of database, but it will be mostly to the database. To retrieve the data from the database, we require a SQL query. So VBCS does not allow you to call any database directly by writing a SQL query. The only way you can access the data in the VBCS is through REST API only. So when you talk about REST API, we know that it will have a CRUD operations, right? Like when you talk about something similar to a database concept, like you can create a record, you can update a record, you can delete a record, or you can fetch a record. In the REST API terminology, we have a similar thing. Get is for the purpose of extracting the data. Post is for the purpose of creating a new record. Patch is for the purpose of updating a record, and delete is for the purpose of deleting the record. So for REST API provides an endpoint. Like see, based on your particular service provider, nothing but let us say you have a supplier creation API from the Oracle Fusion. The supplier Fusion REST API has to provide all these set of operations. Based on these operations, you can invoke those particular operations from your VBCS application via REST endpoints. Okay, and there are different ways of creating a REST application. Like there are different ways of creating, like a business object or a service connections. So I mean to say there are two types. You can access the data. One is using the business object, and other one is a service connection. We'll have a detailed understanding of these two things, like when we design some more complex application. But on a high level, within the VBCS, let us say if you want to design an application which does not involve access of any data from any third-party REST API, you can simply design your application using the business object within the Visual Builder application, and you can create all this particular four the four operations. If at all, if you want to retrieve data from third-party application, which involves a service connection, nothing but like you have a third-party system which is providing a REST API and you want to invoke them, then you need to go with the second option. Okay. So now coming to the next one. So this is a user interface of that particular one. Like I'll try to show you in the next slide. I mean, when we access the user interface directly. And other thing is a component contract. So like whenever you have any component, like a page will contain a set of UI components, and the UI components can be of like updatable or read only, right? That we already aware. I mean, generally like we are well aware of that. Now you can have a component, you can have a n number of events on a component, right? Like it can be of when you have a checkbox, you can have an uncheck event, you have a checking event, like that. So a component can have multiple events also. And next one is like properties, nothing but like yeah, that's what we talked about, right? We'll have a different set of properties, like making it like check, enabling it, disabling it, some set of properties you want to like you're hiding a component. Those things we call them as properties. And events nothing but like actions, like clicking on a particular button or a checkbox or a drop down or a hyperlink. They're called events. Next one is a child slot. A slot is a placeholder inside a web component that you can fill with your own markup. Nothing but it provides a functionality where you can write up your custom business functionality there. And methods, nothing but whenever you have, like, you can on a button event, I can call my JavaScript function to perform some business function. You can write your own custom method. So there are some set of functionalities which VBCS provides, so that we can write in our own way. Like there are scenarios where you cannot satisfy with the existing standard functionality, where you want to write your own custom logic to achieve a particular business requirement. So that is why we have different ways to do it. Now let's start with a sample application creation. So in this particular session, we just want to try to understand the basic components, but later on we'll try to understand each component individually. This session is all about showing the high level components which are available in the VBCS. Now, how do we start creating an application? So like try to consider from any other simple programming language like a PL SQL or a Java or C language. When you want to write any hello world program, what we do, we generally open any editor and we generally save the file like hello world.c or hello world java or hello world.sql, and then write your program. And when you write a program, if it is a C, you'll start with public static void main. If it is Java, also similarly you'll write it. If it's a PL SQL, we generally start with, like, if it is anonymous block, you start with declare section, or if it's a PL SQL program, you start with the create or replace package. Similarly, in the VBCS, when you want to create an application, we start with the creation of a visual application. So let me show you the what do you call the visual builder application editor. So this is a navigation generally you receive from your particular service provider who provides you your client or whoever it is, which provides you the navigation of your visual application. Once you open this particular what you call the browser navigation, it shows a list of applications which are already available. Okay, now I'll just click here and it shows all application settings and certificate. Okay, now what we want to do, we want to create a new application, isn't it? We want to create a new application. The first component what we create is called visual application. We call it as a visual application. You can also import the existing application. Nothing but, let us say some developer has created a program and you want to import it. You can just simply click on import and you can use that one and you can modify it. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll try to create a new application now. So this is called new visual application. And when you create an application, you have to mention a new application name. Hello world 06062021 underscore A. So this is my application name. Okay, it says invalid session. Maybe it was timed out because of the inactivity. Let's try to reload. Okay, I'll start again. Click on new. Hello world. Let me make it simple. Hello world 01. Very simple name. Now we can mention a description, and here you can have a template. Okay, there are a large number of templates which Oracle has been adding up, and you can choose the template based on your requirement, because the basic reason is, like, Oracle VBCS is becoming the standard application development service across all the SaaS services which Oracle is providing, like Oracle CX, Oracle Fusion ERP, and many other things. Okay, now I'll choose this one, Oracle SaaS R12 theme. Okay, and then select and finish. Okay, now what we are doing, we are creating only visual application. Okay, this is our visual application name. Okay, and we selected a template. Based on the template selection, it will create the application. See, there is a difference between a visual application and then the mobile or web application. Let us see that. So now what we have done, I have created a visual application, hello world visual application. In the visual application, I have two kinds of application. One is mobile application, other one is a web application. By default here, if you observe, based on the theme which I selected, it automatically creates an application for us. Okay, if you don't select a template, it would not have any web application here. But as we selected a template of SaaS template, it created this particular web application for us. Simply click on run. So this arrow icon is preview. You can just click on this one to preview how your application looks like when you run it. Okay, so this is our application looks like, and it is by default, it has 3 pages. Okay, flow 1, flow 2, flow 3. Now coming back, now So this particular web application, okay, this is called, this we call it as web application. A visual application can have n number of web application, and it can also have n number of web applications, mobile application as well as web application. Now, so this web application again further divided into these three things. Here, if you observe flows, resources, root pages, okay, and it may have a different naming convention when you click on source view. Now, if I click on source view, it shows some other hierarchy in a different way. Like this kind of hierarchy generally visible when you design your Jet application in your desktop. Okay. Now, next thing is click on services. Service is nothing but like whenever you want to access a third party REST APIs. And the next one is business object. Like when you want to create a custom business object, nothing but the visual application, the VPCS provides like a 5 GB of internal storage where you can store your particular like application data. Okay, that's a business object. Next one is the list of components which are already available, or you can install them based on your requirement. Okay, this is your like if at all if you have a process server which is connected to your VPCS, you can have that. Okay, or else you can ignore it. Now, this is a tool. Okay, this particular whatever you're seeing in the browser, this is a IDE or a tool which we use it for the purpose of creating a VPCS. Nothing but like if at all if you want to create a PL SQL program, what do? We require either Toad or a SQL developer. Similarly, when you want to create a Java application, what do you require? You require an Eclipse or NetBeans or a Notepad++ to create an application. Now, in the VPCS, you will not have any desktop application. What you have is the browser-based IDE where you create your application. Now, let's start with this one web application. Now, whenever you run any page, now when we just run the page, what happens is it will call the root page, which will have a shell, and this shell is linked to a flow. That flow is linked to a page. Just click on settings here, and it is linked to a default flow called main. And where is that main flow? So this is the main flow. So this main flow will be linked to a page. If you just click on settings again, it will tell you it's calling a default page called main start. So this is the landing page whenever you invoke your particular VPCS application. So this can be changed based on the requirement. Now I'll just simply change main start. Changed. Okay, just run it and you should be able to see the changes what we have done. Okay, now coming here if you observe, this is our page, right? So this is our page, and here we have a components. Okay, we can just like it gets collapsed if you just click on this one. These are the list of components which are available in the VPCS. It is not these components which are available in the page, but these are the list of components which are available in the VPCS. You can just drag and drop and you can use them. Now let us say if I want to use let's say hyperlink, right? So, and there is some set of criteria, like you cannot just assign every component everywhere. There is some criteria you have to follow. Now you can see this bind text. This is what I've dragged and dropped. And now coming to structure. So what is the structure? This structure represents a list of components which are available in your page, and it shows the hierarchy. The first component which you have is flex row. After that you have heading, paragraph, like that. It shows the navigate, it shows the structure of your components which are available in your page. Okay, and now on this page here, if you observe, you want to see whether are there any actions available, you can just click on actions. There are no actions available, right? Let us say I'll click on a component and I just want to assign a button in my page. I'll just search with the button component and I'll just drag and drop somewhere here. Okay, so just here I'll try to assign, and okay, it is not there yet. Just observe carefully. Okay, button is there. Now just double click on this button. Okay, and for each component you have properties, right? Any component you take it either item or region, you'll have a properties. This is called your properties inspector. Okay, click on this particular button component. You can check out the default properties which are available, and you can modify the properties. And you want to change the text, you can text it like a click button, I'll say. And now click on events, and this event represents like you can add up an action chain event, right? So I'll just click on new event and click on quick start OJ action. Okay, and it is asking what you want to do when a button event is raised, right? So I'll just simply call plus symbol general. Okay, you can mention anything here. You can call all these particular functionalities, or you can simply call navigation. I'll just call the simple navigation functionality. And what I want to do, I want to navigate to a page, okay? And I can just mention the, or 1 minute, navigate, I'll just delete navigation, open URL. I'll just go with the open URL. I just want to open a new website, www.oracle.com, and I want to open a new window, and you can mention underscore blank. Okay, now just run it and see the difference. Click on a button and it is opening website in a new window. Okay, so this is a action chain based on a user event. You're calling an action chain, and this action chain will have a set of actions, and each action will have a set of business functionality. Okay, this is a page designer. You can check out lively how it looks like when you open the page. You can just click on design, nothing but declarative design. And other one is, if at all, if you want to write a code using HTML or a JavaScript, you can click on code and you can modify the code. Either way, based on the comfort of the developer, you can work on it. And you can see the actions, you can see the list of event listeners, you can check out the variables, the JavaScript coding here. And every page will have HTML as well as JavaScript. That is one more important thing. Okay. And now let's go back to our slide. So as of now, we have seen these set of things, right? Like creating a visual application, creating a new service application. We have not discussed about the business object, okay, but we'll discuss sometime later. And let us see other thing. Yeah. Let me show you this one. Now here, if you observe this slide, right? So we have seen the setting certificate, we have seen the web application, mobile application, the business object, components, source view, and the component view and a structure view, right? And these are the properties. And whatever you see in this particular, the top, right? These are the page elements. Based on the component which you click on, the properties will differ. Now, let us say if you click on flows, you may have a different property. If you click on a page, you may have a different property. If you click on other component, you'll have a different property. So based on the component which you click on, you'll have a different set of properties, right? Now, if let us say I clicked on web application, I could see some extra properties here. If I click on flows, I may see a different properties. Okay. Let us say I'll click on main, right? I could see a little bit different properties. So this, based on the component which you click on, you'll have a different property. And if you want to run it, you can simply run it, and you can also export it. Okay. And you can also check out what is the version you're working on, right? So this is simple application development in the VBCS, and later on we'll try to work on the business object, service connection, and the component event. Okay, thank you.